DreAllDay.com.
Before we start, please like and comment on this video so I can get your feedback. Also, click that subscribe button so you can get all the new content I'm dropping on this channel. And the free book, the mental handbook, physical book, Work on Your Game University, just take care of the shipping and handling, send this right to your doorstep. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We are back with the next NBA 2017 team season preview. We are talking the Chicago Bulls, who went 42-40 last season. And obviously, like every other team, they want to do better this year than they did last year. But that's not going to happen for every team. Is it going to happen for Chicago? We're going to talk about that. I'm not even at home right now. I'm actually recording this from a hotel room in Las Vegas, where I'm actually here on a business trip. So you're going to see a few vids that's going to be recorded out here in Vegas because I'm here for several days. But that's neither here nor there because I know somebody's going to ask me. I'm saying that because I know someone's going to ask me, hey, where are you filming at? Saying my usual filming spot. So that answers that question. So the Chicago Bulls went 42-40 last year, missed the playoffs, barely missed being an AC where they would have got stomped out by the Cleveland Cavs in the first round. But let's talk about what they're looking at coming into this upcoming season. This roster, let's take a look at the additions that they made. They drafted Denzel Valentine from Michigan State University, who was one of the top players in college basketball last year. An all-around guy who can get a triple-double, at least in college. And as I've said, with every rookie coming into the league, no matter how good or bad or whatever people have projected for them from what they did in college and maybe what you saw in the NBA Summer League, I'm not going to predict what any rookie's going to do in the league because it really is such a big difference between the college systems and just the style of play in college and the players you play against in college to what happens in the NBA. And that could either affect the player and make them play better, or they could perform even worse than how they did in college based on what you saw them do in college. It could open their game up or it could close their whole game down. And there's many players that fit both descriptions. So we'll wait to see what he does when he actually starts playing. Speaking of the Heat, Dwayne Wade goes to the Chicago Bulls. Rajon Rondo came over from Sacramento. Robin Lopez, I believe he was part of a trade, either a trade or he came over as a free agent to Chicago. Who else is new to the team? As far as the significant guys who are going to play a lot, those are the three that I most think are going to have the most impact on the team, whether it be positive or negative. Those three guys that got added: Robin Lopez, Rajon Rondo, and Dwayne Wade. And I think two of those guys are going to be starting, D Wade and Rajon Rondo. So let's talk about these two guys. Dwayne Wade, obviously I'm a D Wade fan. D Wade ain't dead. I started that hashtag, and D Wade obviously ain't dead. Left the Miami Heat because the Heat, for whatever reason, didn't want to pay him as much money as the Bulls paid him, $23 million a season, which is a lot of money for a guy who you're not sure if he's going to even play every single game of the season. We just have to admit that. Maybe that's the reason why the Heat didn't want to pay him. But, I mean, if anybody was willing to pay him, why the Heat wouldn't, I don't know. But we'll talk about that maybe when we get to the Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade, let's talk about him as a player and what he's actually bringing to the table this year to Chicago. It's really hard to gauge with Dwayne Wade. Because here's the thing with D Wade. Obviously, he's a great player. He's one of the top 5 shooting guards of all time. He's a guy who's won 3 championships. He's respected. He's in the Hall of Fame. This guy's already in the Hall of Fame. He could walk away right now. And I think, and just like everybody else thought, he was going to finish his career as a Miami Heat player, and he didn't. My question is Dwayne Wade going to get into any better shape? Is he super motivated to prove something in Chicago this year to everyone who thinks he's done, or to the Heat people who didn't want to give him his money? Is he super motivated by that, or no? Is this just going to be, we're just going to have another season here. We're just going to go play ball. He's going to get in shape, but is it a super motivated Dwayne Wade? Because a super motivated Wade could get in really great shape, maybe add that outside three-point shot, which I think this Bulls team is going to need, since what I'm looking at is their starting backcourt guard and wing rotation, at least the starters. None of these guys are great floor spacers. Maybe Dwayne Wade could be that guy, but maybe not. So I'm wondering, is Dwayne Wade going to get a little extra oomph this year because he wants to prove, that he's not done? Or is he just going to come up and have a Dwayne Wade season? Now let's look at Dwayne Wade's stats. So when I say a Dwayne Wade season, you know what I'm talking about. Is not necessarily the points that he's scoring, but it's just the fact that Dwayne Wade doesn't always play in all the games. In the last 3 years, before last season, Dwayne Wade played in 69 games in 2013. Actually, let's go back. 2012, that was the lockout shortened season. He played in 49 of the 66 games. 2013, he played in 69 games. Then he played in 54 and 62 games the next 2 seasons. And mind you, this is an 82-game season. So Dwayne Wade is missing 25%, 25 to 30% of the season year after year after year. Many people think this is one of the reasons why LeBron James left Miami, because he wasn't sure Wade would be around to play. Last year, Wade finally played most of the season, 74 out of the 82 games, which is great for Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade has, in his entire career, never ever once played all 82 games. Never. He played 79 games in 2009, which was one of his best seasons ever, that 2009 season. Actually, that 2009 season, in my opinion, was his best year. He averaged 30 points a game that year, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds. Dwayne Wade was just on damn fire that year. That was definitely his best season. And that was also the season that coincided with that previous offseason. He worked out with Tim Grover, author of the book Relentless. And he hasn't worked out with Tim Grover for a whole summer since then. So you tell me if that's a coincidence or is that a correlation. He played 77 games in 2010. That was the last year before LeBron James came to Miami. Then the first year LeBron was there, he played in 76, so he was good. Then everything started going down. That's when he got to the 49, 69. And that's 49 out of 66 games, that is. Then 69, 54, 62. Last year finally got back up to 74 games. So look at D-Wade's stats last year. 46% from the floor. He was a terrible three-point shooter, making 16% of his threes. So the three-point shot is pretty much gone from his game. He's getting to the line 5.5 times a game, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 19 points per game. I mean, the guy's still, those are pretty much all-star numbers. Those are all-star numbers. If he's going to get that type of opportunity in Chicago, I don't think that he will, unless, again, he comes back in superb shape. Better shape than he was in last year, because he just got a year older. He's an athletic guard. So he would have to be in superb shape to put up those numbers again, and on a team where he may not get as many opportunities as he did in Miami. So is Dwayne Wade going to bring it like that, or is he going to just come and play? Even if he comes and plays, he can get you 16, 17 points a game. I think Dwayne Wade will. But is that enough to help Chicago do anything? So that question has to be answered by looking at the rest of the roster. They also added Rajon Rondo. Now, Rajon Rondo, we know what he did in Boston, won a championship with the Boston Celtics. He's age 30 right now. He'll turn 31 during this upcoming season. But ever since that Boston run ended, let's say they won the championship in 2008, right? Then in 2009, there was the KG injury. 2010 was their last real run when they lost in Game 7. In 2011, they actually had a not bad team, but they traded, I believe that was the year they traded Kendrick Perkins during the season. And then things kind of went south for Boston from there. In 2013, Rondo missed a bunch of games. I believe that was his injury season when he tore his ACL. Might have been 2012. I believe it was 2013. He basically, just looking at his numbers, Rondo played in 53 games in 2012, the lockout shortened season. The next year he played in 38, then he played in 30, then he played in 2015, he played in 66 games total between Boston and Dallas. And while he was in Dallas, Rondo just seemed an uninspired basketball player, despite the fact that he was having a great season in Boston before he got traded. He was averaging 8 points, 11 assists, and 7.5 rebounds. He was getting triple doubles very consistently. He was getting a lot of fantasy basketball stats at the time, is what Rajon Rondo was doing. Left Dallas because he seemed to be uninspired. His year in Sacramento, played the whole season, 72 games, shot, what did he shoot? 45% from the floor. That's not bad. His three-point percentage was actually better than Dwayne Wade's, a respectable 37%. So he's not a terrible shooter. He averaged 6 rebounds a game. He averaged 11.7 assists and 11.9 points. The guy had a good season in Sacramento. Why he left, I don't know. Maybe because of the fucked up Sacramento front office. I wouldn't blame him if that's the reason. Or maybe he just wanted to go somewhere else. Who knows? I have no idea why he wanted to leave Sacramento, but he pretty much was doing his thing with the Kings. 12 points a game, damn near 12 assists, and 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. Rajon Rondo had a damn good season. He could have been an all-star. Arguably could have been an all-star. There are a lot of great guards in the Western Conference. So if Rondo can bring that level of production again, it'd be great. He is going to have to hit some outside shots. Definitely playing alongside a guy like Dwayne Wade, who's not a guy who's going to space the floor, because he's just not a good three-point shooter. But the real person that we need to be paying attention to here is a returning player from the Chicago Bulls, Mr. Jimmy Butler. Just came off winning the gold medal on Team USA. Was not much of a factor playing for Team USA. I thought he would be more of a factor, but he was not a factor. Turns out that I thought he was a better three-point shooter than he actually is. He's not a good three-point shooter. He shot 31% from three this past season in 67 games, 45% from the floor. He's a good free throw shooter. Got you 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game and 21 points per game. I'm not sure if Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade together with Rajon Rondo as point guard, I don't know how that's going to work. Those guys can all play. All guys with all-star level ability, all of them have been all-stars at least once in their careers. But how are you going to space the floor? With the way that the NBA is working now, it doesn't mean the Bulls got to play like everybody else is playing, but how are they going to space the floor? You got 3 guys who are not great three-point shooters. And it's not that Rondo's not even that bad. It's just Rondo he's not a guy who's looking for his shot. He's looking to create a pass. And defenses know that. Dwayne Wade is not making the shot. Jimmy Butler is not terrible at it. He will shoot it, but he's not too great at making it. So this is a question that Fred Hoiberg, coach, is going to have to figure out with this team, if that's going to be his 3 guys in the backcourt. What's looking at this roster, this should be his 3 guys in the backcourt. At the rest of the team, they have here Taj Gibson. We know what we're going to get from Taj Gibson. Energy guy, tough nose guy. Robin Lopez, solid player. Better player than I thought he was. He is a solid center there. The thing is, Robin Lopez does not create any space offensively for his team either. So the Bulls have a lot of guys who don't create any space, at least looking at who I think will be their starting lineup. Doug McDermott, he can create some space. Guy can shoot the ball. Nikola Mirotic, he can create some space. That guy can shoot the ball. Looking at who else? Tony Snell. I believe Tony Snell can be a consistent guy who can space the floor. But Tony Snell is a wing player. I don't even see him as a small ball power forward. He is still a wing player no matter what type of ball you playing for. Playing small ball, big ball. And the guy can hit 36% of his threes. So he's not a terrible three-point shooter. He's a better three-point shooter than Dwayne Wade or Jimmy Butler. But how's he going to get on the court? How's he going to get playing time on this roster? Denzel Valentine, I don't think he's going to play much this year. Despite, no matter what skill he has, I don't think he's going to play much on this team. I think this team thinks they can make the playoffs. And they should think they're going to make the playoffs when you got a Hall of Famer in Dwayne Wade. You got an Olympic player in Jimmy Butler. You got an all-star in Rajon Rondo. You got a solid veteran big man in Robin Lopez. Solid veteran in Taj Gibson. This team should be expecting to make the playoffs. And for that reason, Denzel Valentine is not going to play. What do I think is going to happen with the Chicago Bulls team? Honestly, as much as I want to see Dwayne Wade do great, as much as it'd be great to see the Bulls competing, just because they got some players who I think people like to watch, you all like to watch, I don't see this team going too far. I don't see them having an offense that runs too well with these 3 guys who are not great three-point shooters. They need someone who can space the floor, which is going to take one of these guys off the court for a guy who is a lesser player, I think, overall, but maybe a better floor spacer. So that might be better for the Bulls, but who's it going to be? You're going to sit Jimmy Butler? You're going to sit Dwayne Wade? You're going to sit Rajon Rondo? Can those guys be good, solid team players and stay within the team concept when they're not on the court like they used to being on the court their entire careers? Which one of those guys is going to sit on the bench and be happy about it? That's what I want to know. Who is going to be that guy? I don't see any of those 3 falling into that category. So how Fred Hoiberg is going to make that work again, I don't know. Looking at the rest of the team here, I say the Chicago Bulls tread water. They're going to be in pretty much the same space. I say they win between 30. No, I'm not going to put them in the 30s. I say they win between 40 and 44 games. Chicago Bulls do this year. Do they make the playoffs? That might be enough to get them a 7 or 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. I do not see them winning a playoff series. Who's the leader of this team? I think Dwayne Wade will be the de facto leader just because of the fact of his resume. But Dwayne Wade, I don't believe, can bring it physically anymore enough to get a team past the first round. He did playing for the Heat last year. So people can say, hey, he just did it this past season. And I'm a fan of Dwayne Wade, but he's a season older. And on this team that is not built around him, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I just don't see him doing it, especially if they're a 7th or 8th seed. Now, if they get to a 4th or 5th seed and they have to play a team who's not as good as, I think the only team in the East that I think definitely beats the Bulls in the first round playoff series, definitely, you're going to have to say the Cavs, and I would also put the Raptors in that category. Any other team in the East, based on how they played last year, nobody. I think Boston beats the Chicago Bulls in the first round playoff series, looking at this upcoming Boston season team. But as a 7 or 8 seed, I don't see the Bulls getting out of the first round. But I think with this amount of talent, they should get to the playoffs. But they're not going anywhere. That's what I think about the Bulls. Y'all let me know what y'all think, Chicago fans. This team is not as exciting as they once were. Missing a Joe Noah, missing a Derrick Rose. I think this team's going to tread water for a couple more years. They're going to have to shed that Dwayne Wade contract, because that's $23 million they got to pay that man this year and next year. And somebody got to come in. Somebody has to come in who can help this team and put them back up there again. Who's it going to be? It was Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is gone. So I don't know what it's going to be. I think this team treads water. They're not going to be bad enough to get a high draft pick and not good enough to compete. So they're kind of in I don't know, what do we call that? Purgatory. NBA purgatory. Bulls fans, I'm sorry, but this is just what it is. If I'm wrong about this, let me know in the comments. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Next team that we're going to cover, just so you know, we just did the Bulls. Next will be the Memphis Grizzlies. See y'all tomorrow. Work on your game.